develop ourselves as professionals. Could you tell us a little bit about, as President and CEO of York Water Company, what is your leadership and management philosophy? And could you maybe tell our students a little bit about how you developed that?
Leadership and management philosophy. Well, it's pretty much surround yourself with good people and step back. And of course, that's the easy answer. First, you have to surround yourself with good people, and that's always a challenge. Hiring good people is very important, and not micromanaging them once you get them hired, and making sure you kind of set the tone for the entire organization. And I spent some time in the Army, and I learned that there. As the commander goes or the boss goes, so goes the entire unit. And it's very important that they set the correct tone at the top and make sure that you give everybody the resources they need and then let them do their jobs.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Mustard, you work as an athletic director. So could you take us back to the beginning? Did you always want to become an athletic director? If not, what were your original plans? Could you tell us a little bit about your career path?
Actually, athletic directing was not even close in my scope of work. When I transferred to Towson, my business law professor ended up happening to be the Maryland State director of soccer, coaching, and knew I played collegiately and still played at Towson, and asked me after I was done would I be interested in coaching. Well, little did I know he coached the high school team, brought me in to actually run the team, and he left. I ended up winning a state championship with that team in 2 years, and the athletic director there asked me to stay on full-time as an athletic director. My original course of work was business management with marketing, or business administration with marketing, and I lined up a couple different opportunities for myself, but once I had gotten a taste of being at an independent all-girls school and coaching soccer full-time, I really truly enjoyed that the most. It was an outstanding experience. It was a definite career change and a career path that I had no idea I was going on, but in the end, it turned out to be an awesome experience and ended me up at York Country Day now.
Great, thank you. All right, and Mr. Peck, given that you work in social media, and this is really an emerging field, and a lot of our students are becoming more and more savvy in it, could you tell us how the internet and social media in particular has opened up a new way for people to market themselves?
I think it's the internet and social media really have basically turned the tables, if you will. Back in the day, in order to have influence, you had to start a radio station or a newspaper or be on TV, and that's not the case anymore. You can really start writing about whatever it is that you're interested in, get it out there through sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and really find other people that share your interests. And it's easier than it ever has been before. Me personally just started blogging in 2006, and it's opened up so many doors. Met some incredible people. Never really expected that to happen, but I would encourage everybody to kind of get their name out there, at least investigate. Maybe one tool is better for your purpose than for another, but it's really a game changer. There's no barrier to entry for people sharing their thoughts online and connecting with people. So I think it's been great.
Great, thank you. Well, Mr. Gibson, both Mr. Mustard and Mr. Peck have talked a little bit about really doing what they love, and that their career has really worked out in excellent ways and sometimes surprising ways as well. Could you tell us a little bit about what made you decide to go into the sports industry and how you broke into that industry?
Sure. I actually didn't have an internship or a sport management major, which is a little unusual in our business. I just really love baseball. That was really it. I love minor league ball. I love what it does to bring a community together, what it represents, all those things. And because I didn't have an internship, and I do hire the interns at the team, I'll tell you, it's very important to have an internship at some point in your career before you enter the work world. But because I didn't, I had a really hard time getting in. And I know somebody asked me, I think one of the questions was about Mike Beck, and I can tell you a little bit more about him later. But basically, he owns 6 baseball teams. and I was able to get an interview with him, and he sent me up to his new team in Brockton, Massachusetts, 9 years ago, and that's how I got started in baseball. It's not the most glamorous living in the world, especially when you're pulling tarp and all that other stuff, but there's a lot of fun there, and you know, looking at any sport, baseball, football, basketball, whatever the case may be, there's still some long hours and a lot of hard work. I just happen to prefer minor league baseball because of the whole kind of carnival sense and the entertainment that goes along with it. So.
Great, thank you. All right, Ms. Holland, we're going to kind of switch things up a little bit. Could you talk a little bit about, given that you're our female panel member, could you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that women might experience in the business environment, or any thoughts that you have on that subject?
Sure. One of the things working in the transportation industry, it is a very male-dominated industry. I have a board of directors that are essentially my clients, and my job is to make sure that they are pleased with the job that we're doing. Of the 19 board members that I have, only 5 are women, and only 4 total are under the age of 50. So I'm in a very male-dominated kind of baby boomers type environment, that the people that I have to answer to. And it presents challenges, but it's not something that you can't overcome by, again, going back to what I said in the beginning, doing your homework, being prepared, and putting forth the right image. I'm very conscious of how I, handle myself when I'm making sure that I'm completely professional, the way I'm dressed, conservative hair, makeup, jewelry, things like that. Before, my boss said to me, they want to hear what's coming out of here, not see what's up here, and all of those types of things. So, and I tell that to my staff as well, because I have several young women that work on my staff that deal with the same people. So it can present challenges, but I think it's also an advantage in our generation. It brings a fresh perspective to an industry that's male-dominated, and a lot of them appreciate that. But again, handling it with just being aware of those things and being able to handle it properly is important too.
Thank you. Mr. Hines, a unique issue you have in your background is that you spent some time with the Army Corps of Engineers. Could you talk a little bit about how your military experience has benefited you in your own career?
Sure. I went to college on an ROTC scholarship, spent 5 years on active duty, and then went into the reserves, and didn't think much was going to happen until 9/11, and I got deployed for a year to Afghanistan and Kuwait. And but the Army definitely, whether you go to a war zone or not, teaches you a lot of great things that benefit you in life. The Army arguably is one of the gold standards in professionalism, or the military is anyway. And some of the things you learn there are lifelong learning, professionalism, teamwork, the value of teamwork, knowing that every member of the team has a job and letting them do it, and then being able to accomplish tasks with very little guidance and understanding the intent of the people above you.